It's inevitable. Over time, as you're working on lots of projects, things can easily start to get messy. You may have had good intentions, you may have kept things organized at the start, but over the course of the year, as you've worked on different projects, got really busy, maybe you got a bit lax in certain areas and things just got messy. So as we approach 2025, this is a great time to get your Canva organized so that you're going to feel more on top of things and more organized as you go to work on new designs in the new year. So together, let's clean up your Canva for the new year. So it's time to get our Canva in order. So depending on when you last organized things, how long you've been on Canva, and how much time you actually have to work on this will depend on what you actually do and how far back you actually go through your files. So you don't have to go through absolutely everything if you have a huge backlog, years worth of stuff, but we just want to start to get a bit more organized so that we feel like we're a bit more on top of things as we go into the new year. So what you want to do is go to home to recent designs, and you sort of want to start with the most recent stuff and go back as far as you feel you've got time to and as far as you feel comfortable working on. Because if you have years worth of stuff that's a mess or hasn't been organized, you may just not have the time to go through it all, but some of that really old stuff you probably aren't going to want to reference anyway. So it's more about just starting to really get organized in the stuff you do want, and also starting to get rid of some things too. So you may mass delete a lot of stuff, and that might help you get through a bit more too. So the first thing we want to be doing is deleting things that we just don't need. This is where we need to be a little bit ruthless and say, look, I'm just not going to use that again, or it's just not something that I need to reference again in any kind of way. Let's just get rid of it. I don't need it. So this could be templates you've downloaded, never used. It could be something you just experimented with and realized you don't actually need. Sometimes you'll set up pages just to try and test something, just to create something quick that you didn't need again for any reason. This is where we just get rid of it and say, look, I don't need that file. I'm not going to ever need to reference it again. It's not something that I need to go back to. I'm just going to get rid of it. So what I would do is start going through and think about what's important. So for example, this here's client work. So I probably want to put that in a client folder. So we'll keep that because it's always good to hang on to stuff for clients in case they ask for it again. This thing is a template, so that's important. I need to keep that because people will be downloading that. So do keep that in mind too if you've shared files, that if you remove them, people won't be able to access them anymore. So do think about two things that you've shared. We don't want to be getting rid of that. It's more those silly little things like this here was just an experiment. So we don't want that anymore, and so we can just click the three dots and move to trash. This again, we don't want that, move to trash. So you just want to start scrolling back in time, looking for those sort of things. So it may have been that you just experimented with a page, you don't need that anymore. Maybe you got a template and you just liked it at the time but never actually used it, so we can delete it. So you just want to go through and start deleting the things that just aren't. So go back as far as you feel comfortable, just starting off with that so that you feel like there's less to organize because you've just taken that time to get rid of the things you don't really need at all. Now, once you've gone through and done that, you can come down here where it says trash, and we can click on that and we can actually see the things we put in the bin. So if you were worried that you accidentally clicked something that you shouldn't have, put something in the bin that you didn't want to, you do have that second chance to go back to the bin, double check that everything there is stuff you definitely are happy to remove. There isn't something there that you need to get back. If you realize, hey, I actually need that, you can click the three dots and restore. Otherwise, if you realize, yeah, I definitely don't need that, then we can start deleting from trash. Now, as it says here, you have 30 days to restore things. So if you don't want to have to individually go through and say, okay, just get rid of this stuff, you don't have to. It's going to automatically remove these things from trash eventually anyway, but it's more just make sure once you've finished going through and deleting things, come back in here just to double check there wasn't anything that accidentally went in that you actually want to keep. Give it that second chance just to have a quick look through, and then you're done with deleting the things we don't need. So our next step in getting organized is starting to put things in folders. Now you may already put some stuff in folders, but maybe not everything, or maybe you've got nothing at all in folders. So depending on where you're at, you need to go through and make sure things are in folders, and if they are not, start creating the folders that you need to put them away. So for example, this one is not in a folder right now, so we can go move to folder. And I want to create a new folder, client. Now you can also make subfolders. So if you've got a lot of clients, you can have a client folder as that main folder and then create subfolders to put things in further. So to do that, we can go back to move to a folder. We we can go to this new one, client work, and then create a new folder within that. So we can actually give that a name and actually put things in a subfolder. So the more you work on those folders, have main folders, subfolders, things are going to get more and more organized and easy to find. Now, initially trying to go through and create these folders might start to feel tedious at first, but you'll notice that as you start to build up more and more folders, this process is going to get easier because more things are just going to go in folders that are existing. So when you're getting started, you're probably having to create a lot of folders just to get going, and then you'll start just going, okay, yep, that needs to go in that folder. Just go to folder, pick the folder, or if you're a subfolder, go within, pick a subfolder and put it in there. So it's going to start getting easier over time. It's that initial just trying to get things in folders. And doing this process is going to help you notice the things that maybe you overlooked with deleting as well. Maybe you go to put something in a folder and go, hang on, actually I don't really need this. It doesn't really belong in any folder I need. Actually, I should just delete it. So it's almost like a second sweep to notice things that you don't actually need. Now, your designs aren't the only thing we can organize when it comes to folders. We also have your uploads. So if you go to your uploads, you can also start to organize them as well. So if there's things in your uploads that you'll never need again, it's not in a file that you're going to be using again, you can again move to trash and start getting rid of some things in your uploads that you don't need anymore. And you also want to start moving things that are more important to a folder. So let's say we want to put this in a folder, move to folder. We can put that in the client one, add to folder. And that way your uploads will start to be a bit more organized and not feel like this crazy mess of just different uploads. You have things put away in certain folders and easy to reference again. So this is going to help you feel a lot more organized in the new year as well, because your uploads aren't this crazy mess of just things you've randomly uploaded, but they're much more organized, much more easier to refine things that you want to use again and again. Now, another thing that's great to work on to get yourself really organized for the new year and those new graphics you're going to be creating is your brand kit. So if you've already worked on this, it may be just a matter of looking through it and deciding, is there anything I've missed? Is there things I need to add, things I need to tweak and improve that brand kit? And if you've never created one, actually spending that time working on it, because it does help a lot. It really speeds up your workflow, makes things so much easier. So it's a really great one to work on. You can also here, you see you've got brand templates. So that could be another thing, is if you go back through templates you've created and start putting them into brand templates so they're easier to reference, or creating a new sets of templates for the new year. So maybe you want to spend a little bit of time actually working on some new template sets and then put them in brand templates. Now, to add something to brand templates, you just go in that file you've created, share, and then you're going to choose this one here, brand template, and that will put it in that brand template section. So our final thing to get organized for the new year, which I've already sort of touched on, is working on some templates. So perhaps you've got templates already, but you need to refresh them because we don't want to keep using the same ones all the time. Or maybe you haven't worked on templates before. Now's a great time to work on them and get yourself some templates to make your life easier. This is going to help you feel so much more organized because you've got some designs that you can use to base your future designs on as you get going in the new year. Some quiet time towards the end of the year, at the beginning of the new year. This is a great time to set up stuff like this because you've got that time to work on it, create some great templates that is going to make it easier during busy times. So as I said before, you want to create those templates. So for example, I've got some templates here. So what you want to do is go and create some templates. So set things up, make them all in your brand. So I'd suggest you actually work on that brand kit first. Make sure that you've gone through, added everything to your brand kit. If there's things you've missed before, maybe adding them in. It could be things too, like adding in fresh photos. So here in your brand kit, you've got a photo section. You may even want to do like a brand new photo shoot, then go in and add those new photos. So you feel like you've got some fresh things to work with and you're really set up for the new year and it's really organized. Maybe you've never worked on your brand voice before. Now's a good time to add that in. Maybe you want to add some fresh graphic elements, things like that. So anything that's going to help you, anything that's going to just make it easier for you to work on graphics next year, now's the time to do all that stuff and add it in so it's all easy for you to grab and use. So coming back to our template, say that I've been working on this template set, I've got it all on brand and I'm happy with it. Again, we want to go to share, see all, and go brand template. So you'll see here there's a folder, so you can add it to your brand folder. Then you're going to click on publish. So that way, if you have a lot of templates, if you wanted to, you can set up subfolders, have different folders and things so you can really organize those templates too. Then when you go over to brand, you'll see it here in brand templates. So you can see it there. So it's easy to grab just from your brand templates, or you can go into projects and into folders. So we could go to the folder we put it in. So see all, and we would be able to go to our folder and find it there as well. So if you have a lot of templates and it feels like if I just put them all in brand templates, it's going to get more confusing because there's a lot, you can organize it using folders as well. So I know that's quite a few tasks to work on, but just, now and then when you've got some spare time, work on these things and you're going to feel so much more organized, and it's going to make things so much easier for you in the new year. So I hope you're feeling a lot more organized now, and if you would like to learn more about how to use Canva, about graphic design and branding for your business, make sure you subscribe, and happy creating.